Thank you all, you're too kind. See, the main reason why I wanted to do this was to be in the new lecture hall, but it didn't work. My name's Ayman, obviously. I'm going to talk to you about my medical mentorship at St. Luke's Hospital. For starters, I would like to, I don't know if everyone can see the quote, a mentor empowers a person to see a possible future and believes it can be obtained. I believe in mentorships because it lets students like me see what possibilities are out there and to see what I could do as a potential career. And I was very fortunate to be admitted into this program at St. Luke's. So my motivations for applying to this program, I'm obviously very interested in medicine. I'd like to pursue it as a career, but I have no family members involved in medicine. So I needed to find my own connections and learn on my own. The timing for the program fit with my schedule during the summer. The summer I took summer physics, which took up a majority of my time. So, and this program was really, it just fit perfectly. And I could do it without feeling stressed. I save that stress for school, so. I wanted to see if it was something I could do in the future. Again, that's the power of the mentorships. You can see what you really want to do in action and determine if it's your course of action in your life. And I just really wanted to wear scrubs. They're the most comfortable clothing out there, in my opinion. And what better way to wear scrubs than in a hospital? Oops. So why would you want to observe in general? You, again, get first-hand experience with medicine, medical staff, and patients. Patient care is really key in hospitals, so I got to talk with patients and learn about their histories, their diets, their ailments, and what we can do to prevent those or treat those. You learn the practical and obscure aspects of the job. You go through the basics, like you can read charts, their heart rates, their whatever conditions you're monitoring in the patient. And you can, again, determine that if this career is truly for you. I can't stress this point enough. And after my internship, I have a strong feeling that I will be in the medical field in the future. And here's me after a surgery. My hair should not be tucked out like that, but I just took it informally. And this is how it generally looks in the hospital. Your mentor is there diagnosing, and you just awkwardly stand there looking, and he's going to educate you about what to look for and how to, what the ailment means and what you can do to treat it. Alright, the program itself, it's a one-week program during the summer, obviously. If you specify your interests, your week will be filled with whatever you want to learn. For example, you want to study cancer or learn more about it, you can meet and follow with an oncologist. And if you want to study emergency medicine, you can observe daily in the emergency room. That's a really popular choice at St. Luke's. And you basically learn about confidentiality, how to act with patients, and you do spend a lot of time on your feet. Every day my feet hurt. Alright, how did I apply? I filled out the application in early February. I requested 2 teacher recommendations. They needed to be formal and private, so that you can't look at them. I wrote supplemental essays that expressed my interests with the program and why I wanted to do it and what I hope to gain from it. And I did lots of prerequisites. So I did lots of blood work, medical testing, and I went to a very long orientation. Because this is a hospital, patient care comes first, and you need to be protecting yourself and protecting those in the hospital from any outside disease or infections. So the odds, I would say this is a selective program. This year, only 38% of the applications were admitted into the program. But if you would like to apply for this in the future, I recommend that you do take it seriously. Well, I do recommend that you take every application you do very seriously. I would know because I'm doing college essays and applications, and they don't want to see like trash on the application. So.
Cool.
So, just a brief overview. I was placed in the advanced patient care / hospitalist rotation. I worked at 9 to 5 p.m. schedule, very long. I did get free lunch, which was nice, all about the food. And I took notes about what was going on in the ICU and within the hospital. All right, I kept a daily log about what I observed and learned each day. I met some very interesting people, such as nurse practitioners, chief medical officer of St. Luke's, and many ICU nurses and staff members. I witnessed day-to-day events. I saw how they wheeled their cards in, typing patient information in, checking on the status of each individual in the ICU, and just saw everything about the hospital and how to improve the quality of care in the hospital. And then I learned about medical terminology. So here, since I'm a percussionist, I like percussion, I have a picture of a timpani, and I learned what a tympanic membrane is. Does anyone know what that is? No, not you, Dr. Dave. So it turns out you're using this membrane all the time, every day. You're using it right now. And that's why your ears call the eardrum. Eardrum? No? Okay. I tried. Oops. No. There we go. So my time in the ICU was brief but impactful. I unfortunately saw someone pass, and there are many steps to take before you declare someone officially dead. So one of the things they check is your instinctual reactions to like gag reflexes, if your eyes respond to a flash of light. They have to check for those in order to pronounce the person dead. And it was quite sad. This patient had family outside of the country, and the only one there was his closest friend. So it was pretty, and it was my first day too, so I walked in ready to learn, and then I see this, and it really set the mood for me. And I realized that this doesn't happen every day, well, every day in normal life. We don't really see it every day when we're coming to school and all that, but in a hospital it happens all the time, and people are not as usually affected by it in the hospital. So, and I thought that was pretty interesting. There's something called the broken heart syndrome. It's a real thing. It's when your heart develops an abnormal rhythm, and it feels like a heart attack, but it's different because a heart attack is when your arteries are clogged, but this one is just a really weird heart rhythm. And I just really like the name. It's like, it only happens when you are stressed. So, or if you have received news of a loved one, is dead. And yeah, the metaphor fits. Your heart develops some kind of rhythm that's not normal, and you can experience some pain from that. And foot in the door phenomenon. See, I had a psychology test. Thanks, Mr. D. I had a psychology test today, and it clicked to me last night that I actually experienced this phenomenon. Basically, you are more likely to accept bigger requests if you are asked smaller requests first. In the ICU, I was walking around and then I heard this call in a patient room. I walked in, and then he needed a jug to urinate in, so I went to get that for him. Then he asked for a pillow, and then I just was like, okay, I'll help him out. I got him a pillow, and then he asked for food. I was trying to be really helpful, and I wasn't thinking, so I got him some crackers and some cheese. The problem was, this patient was diabetic, so this patient could not get the food I was presented to him. So I was shocked. I did not realize what I've done until afterwards. Thankfully, he was getting discharged the day I gave him the food, so he was fine. It was just a little spike in the blood pressure, but yeah, it's not my proudest moment, but it made me realize that you have to take everything into account in a hospital setting. You can't do everything you can do normally. Like if you ask for food, Lila, I'd probably get you some, or maybe not. But okay. But yeah, in a hospital, you can't do those normal friendly gestures because it might be detrimental to their health. So I got off easy, but it might not happen in the future. I also spent time with the chief medical officer at St. Luke's. He is the person who monitors and hires and keeps the quality of care up in St. Luke's, and he was quite a funny guy. So I saw how to effectively hire new employees, and in the medical field, it's quite tedious to go through all the layers of an application, of a job application. You need to look at past histories, where they studied, their their license, and you need to see if they're suitable to be in this position. And in medicine, it's quite difficult because if you have a blemish in your application, then you have a really strong disposition to get hired. So, like for example, Heather, if you wanted to go work in the medical field, but then you accidentally missed that, or you malpractice someone, like you gave them a wrong drug, they don't want to see that, and you probably will not get hired as easily as someone who has a perfect, clean background. So always look out for your past. It will haunt you in the future. And this was more of an informal and inspirational time of mine where I saw the different things the Chief Medical Officer would do to improve the quality of health in St. Luke's. Like, example, people were complaining about the Wi-Fi. I thought how trivial, but it actually needs to be there because every patient's chart is linked on the internet, and Wi-Fi needs to be everywhere at a good connectivity. So he worked on improving that and furthermore improving the quality of care. There's a typical daily log. I needed to verify that I actually came to did the program. Some students, they don't do this and they got in big trouble for it because the physician or the person you're shadowing has a set time frame for you, and if you can't commit to that, it's rude, first of all, and it's just a big waste of time if they're waiting for you, or if you haven't verified your mentorship. Example of another daily log, I had to write an activity description for all 5 days. I wrote in messy handwriting, so I guess I'm a good doctor, right? The handwriting. So I was expected to write about the day, to talk about what I learned. And the wrap up at the end of my 5 days, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I wrote thank you letters to all those who had time to educate me. I wrote some to not even my mentors. I wrote to a pharmacist who educated me about different doses. I wrote to a registered nurse who showed me how to suture just correctly, like suture correctly. And it's pretty nice to get a thank you note written in hand, so I like that. I wrote a reflection essay about the whole experience. It was quite lengthy, and it talked about, again, what I learned and what I saw. And I got a nifty certificate. There. And thanks for coming. Here's a picture of me in an emergency helicopter. I was fortunate enough to see them wheel in a patient into the ICU. And they let me see their helicopter. I sat in it. I acted like a pilot. And it was pretty cool. Does everyone have any questions for me? Compliments? Complaints? Yes, Mr. D.
Did you get a chance to go to surgery and see surgery being done?
Unfortunately, that wasn't in my rotation, but I did see a minor surgery done in an ICU room. And that's where the picture with me in the mask and the surgical stuff, or the hat on, so that I wasn't bringing new infections into the room. Yes?
How did you apply? Did you go on their website?
I did. So I typed in, if you want to look further into this, you can type in St. Luke's Medical Mentorship Program, The Woodlands. You should see the link, and you will have to download a big packet. And you will have to fill that out, get the teacher recommendations, and apply and send it to them. It takes a long time for them to review it, so I recommend doing it early. If you were to do it, it's a good experience. I liked it, and probably you would like it too. If you're in health. Yes, sir.
Going back to the previous question before hers, what's the difference between a major operation and a minor operation?
I would say it's kind of informal. I just said it off the top of my head. Minor operation, the one I saw was a central line operation where we needed to extract blood directly from the heart to test the oxygen levels in that blood. A major operation is obviously like a full-blown surgery, which I did not get to see at my time here. I hope that answers it. Yes, Gabe.
So at the beginning, you mentioned how after the internship, you realized that you could see yourself being a doctor. Sorry, the helper.
Okay, yeah.
Was there a moment in which you just realized that that was fit for you, that was the right thing?
That's a good question. So, I was talking with a patient. She was elderly. She was having some heart problems, and I just discussed with her about what they're doing with her and how to treat her. And it's just when you're in that moment, it's really inspirational to hear all this stuff and what troubles they have gone through in the past. And I would just simply like to be a part of that field where I can take care of people and be a good person and help back.
Oh, it's a good answer.
Yeah, thank
You're
you.
already a good person.
Oh. Yes.
How did you find out about the program?
The program, a simple Google search, really. I really wanted to do something medically related during the summer, not just physics, because who cares about physics? I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Your boxes and pulley systems are very interesting. Yeah, but I just really wanted to fit something medically related into my summer, and I just Googled it, and this program again fit with my hectic schedule, and I just applied and got it.
Okay, I have another one.
Okay.
So was there a moment in which you felt the opposite, like this wasn't the right thing for you? Like when that person passed away, or you had to see a lot of blood or something?
So your question is were there moments where I felt like this was not right for me, basically? There was some times when I felt like I didn't want to do this. One of the parts, I saw a room filled with, I saw a patient's restroom and it was atrocious. I would not want to clean that, but not my job. Honestly, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that made me want to not do this job, other than I heard physicians talk about their process of becoming a doctor. It's a long, arduous process, much reading, much writing. But that didn't really deter me as much. I saw what they do, and I saw what the nurse practitioners and the nurses do for the patients, and it's really a team effort, and I just loved it.
Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Glenn. Sorry about the physics comment.
It's totally fine. So obviously you were in the ICU branch of the program. I don't know if you know, but what the other branches were?
Definitely. So other programs included the emergency room route where you shadowed emergency physicians and spent a lot of time in the OR, the operation room. There was the oncology route where you learned about, you saw tumors and were able to be with a doctor to diagnose it and see the cool graphs. Is any specialty you can think of? They probably have it at St. Luke's. I'm trying to think. You don't have one in mind, do you? Like a certain specialty? You're just asking in general.
I just was thinking that there might be varying interests
Oh yeah.
in the room.
Okay.
Was there like a pediatrics?
There was a pediatrics. What's the hard one? Cardiology is a big one there. And there's a lot more. I just can't think of it right now.
Okay, so there's a lot of options.
There are a lot of options.
If you're interested in a certain field, it's worth looking into.
That's correct.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So, do you wish that it had been longer, since you moved?
Yes, I do wish it was longer, but my program was August 1st to August 5th, and school was catching up, so I really wish it was 2 weeks so I could be there more and learn a lot more than I did. But I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to go into a hospital setting, look at what everyone's doing, talk with patients, and just be there in general. But yes, I do wish it was a longer process, longer time frame. Any more questions? All right, thank you guys.